All right, what's going on, everybody? How we doing on this fine Monday? Can we get the webcam to focus in? Focus in. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I had some technical issues rolling with YouTube, but after a few tries, we got it right. It wasn't connecting to the webcam. But let's dive into what we have going on this morning. This is a Monday, so you know that goes into the week ahead as well as what we have for our Monday specific news. So it's a little bit longer than normal. So with the late start, I'm gonna go ahead, and get us rocking and rolling. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. We had a very, crazy roller coaster of a weekend when it came to AI news. So I feel like that'll probably be in here. But we're here to do 1% better. Make sure you throw your ones in the chat, whether you're watching live or via replay. And let's dive into what we got going on this week, which is a holiday shortened week, right? And this will include a flurry of earnings reports just before Thanksgiving. The headliner will be NVIDIA, which has been on an AI-fueled rally as of late. Lowe's, ticker LOW, Analog Devices, ticker ADI, Autodesk, ticker ADSK, and then Best Buy, ticker BBY. Baidu also reports, whose ticker is BIDU, and then John Deere, DE, and Dick's Sporting Goods, which is DKS. So a few notable companies, but none of them, super important other than NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is going to be, of course, the biggest name company that is reporting. There's been a lot of speculation about a new chip, right? NVIDIA's got some gaps down below, and some people are, kind of antsy to get at playing those gaps. And then others are like, hey, we've got new news that could come out that could shoot it back to new all-time highs. So, we'll likely get some type of answer to that question from this earnings report. So I'm excited for that. In terms of the economic calendar, that will be dominated by global flash PMIs for November and the durable goods order report. And the U.S. interest rate watchers will also have their eyes on the Federal Reserve's release of minutes from the FOMC meeting and the European Central Bank's accounting of its last meeting. Now, you guys know that, of course, we have to check ourselves with this Market Watch economic calendar. Not just going to come in and, take the newsletter's word for it. Got to make sure that we are double checking. Okay. This is so weird. Yeah, sure. I feel like it was being weird. Okay, there we go. So in terms of what we got going on this week, Monday, November 20th, nothing really. Existing home sales at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. That's not super important. Wednesday, 8:30 a.m., we get initial jobless claims. So that's probably, and then 10 a.m. consumer sentiment final. So really on Wednesday, consumer sentiment data, initial jobless claims, those are going to be the biggest thing. Jobless claims, of course, at 8:30 a.m., then consumer sentiment at 10. And then Thursday, Thanksgiving holiday, of course, got nothing scheduled. Very excited for that. And then Friday, S&P Flash U.S. Services PMI. So PMI on Friday at 9:45 a.m. That's something that could be of some importance. I'll figure out whether or not I'm even going to trade Friday or do anything Friday. As of right now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is guaranteed, but I don't know if I'll be back on for the market on Friday or not. That might just be, family time. Plus, I have another really cool, project that I'm involved with that we might do a little live to introduce that platform. So, don't know if I'll be here Friday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I will. Wednesday seems like the most important economic data, but still not much on the calendar. This is a holiday shortened week, which means that we're likely not going to have a lot of volume, right? It's going to be low volume, can be weird, can be choppy. Typically, on holiday weeks, we do finish higher, right? Historically. So historically, we finish higher than where we opened that week. So it makes it more likely that it's a green week. Is that guaranteed? No. So this is just all important when it comes to factoring in the expectations for the week. You don't want to come into the week and say, oh, the market owes me this or owes me that. It can be weird, kind of choppy movement and low volume movement, which means that it lacks conviction, which means there can be fake outs. So all that is important when going into something like a holiday week. Because again, big money is taking the week off. Like nobody's going to go have a holiday be on Thursday and like literally do anything that week, right? In terms of earnings too, we do have Zoom today. So their ticker ZM. But Tuesday is the big day where we have NVIDIA, Lowe's, Best Buy, Baidu, Dick's Sporting Goods, HP, Nordstrom. So we've got all of those on Tuesday. So tomorrow's going to be the big day. In terms of like an earnings preview for NVIDIA will report Q3 earnings on November 21st to high expectations. The tech giant is expected to announce revenue of $15.99 billion for the quarter and EPS of $3.37. Key topics from the Santa Clara-based company will be the impact of China export controls, the product roadmap, the update on the data center supply chain, hyperscale commentary, and color on AI services revenue. Ahead of the report, Morgan Stanley noted that the gap between supply and demand has been so wide for the company that even shaving off peak demand has had no impact. NVIDIA heads into earnings day on a hot streak, with shares already up 240% year to date. Options trading implies a swing in share price up or down of 8% for NVIDIA after the earnings report drops. So, kind of a big move that's expected. Not really super big compared to the moves that they've had in the past, but still a big move nonetheless. So again, if you're going to play earnings, make sure that if you weren't fine setting that on fire, you don't go ahead and throw that on earnings. But that's pretty much all that we have for the week ahead. Now we're going to get into our Monday specific news here on this fine Monday. Let's see what we got going on. Okay. All right. So Wall Street breakfast, top news, the C-suite. So it's a classic tale in Silicon Valley, but the reverberations are still being heard across the investing world. Sam Altman's bid to return to OpenAI after being ousted late on Friday has failed, with the board not agreeing to the proposed terms of his reinstatement in a drama-filled weekend. This has probably been the most crazy AI news weekend since ChatGPT became a thing and AI, really changed the world. So let's see here. Instead, Emmett Shear, the former CEO of Twitch and a prior partner of Sam Altman's startup accelerator Y Combinator, has been named interim CEO, while Altman, as well as OpenAI president and co-founder Greg Brockman, have found a new home at Microsoft. More on that below, but expect more OpenAIers to jump ship. So what happened? That's what everybody wants to know. What happened with OpenAI that caused the fallout with Sam Altman? Since its founding in 2015, OpenAI's mission has been to develop cutting-edge AI technologies that would benefit humanity as a whole, unconstrained by a need to generate financial return. Only a few years later, the nonprofit formed a capped profit subsidiary, which eventually helped it attract the billions of dollars in investment that were needed to develop its large language models, ChatGPT, and other expensive generative AI offerings. Top talent was secured, equity was distributed to employees, and it was now able to commercially license its technologies. But a schism was growing between Altman and the board, skeptical of corporate expansion. During talks over the weekend, reports suggested that Altman, with the backing of Microsoft, proposed a series of notable tech executives to lead a new board more aligned with their business vision. Names included Brett Taylor, former co-CEO of Salesforce, Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky, and Sheryl Sandberg, the former COO of Meta Platforms. However, if OpenAI's board was concerned about Altman's lack of candor in communications and commitment to ethical AI development, the pitch only reinforced their position. Sources also say that Altman had recently devised plans for two new business endeavors, including a Johnny Ive-led consumer hardware unit and a low-cost chip venture that would be used to train AI models, as well as publicize projects like the GPT App Store and crypto scheme WorldCoin. I love how they called it a crypto scheme. That's kind of shady, right? Like what? As the negotiations failed, Microsoft, ticker MSFT, stepped in to secure much of the talent behind its reported $13 billion investment in OpenAI, which some say gave it a 49% stake in a company that was recently valued at $86 billion. Microsoft then brought both Altman and Brockman into its ranks to lead a new advanced AI research team, a step seen as necessary to preserve generative AI secrets and keep the technology in-house. Yes, 1000%. They needed to hire them, because if they got hired anywhere else, who knows what happens to, what Microsoft poured all this money into. Quote, "We look forward to moving quickly to provide them with the resources needed for their success," Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella wrote on X, as it looks to lead the AI revolution and cash in on its promise. So in terms of a thought bubble, Altman is sure to remain a force within AI markets, and many are likening the situation to the 1985 ouster of Steve Jobs, who eventually returned and paved the way for Apple to become the most valuable company in the US. Microsoft intends to level up by integrating emerging AI technology within all of its products, such as its Bing search engine, Microsoft 365, GitHub coding tools, and the Azure cloud. It remains to be seen what will be achieved, but what is clear for now is that incentives must be properly aligned, or they can create far reaching governance and agency problems. So again, huge drama filled weekend. I feel like at some point they might make a movie about it. But yeah, there was a lot happening. Sam Altman is apparently raising money. He was on a tour in the Middle East raising money for a chip company to train large language models that would compete with NVIDIA. So this guy's just got a lot going on. He's got WorldCoin, which is pretty much, kind of set up so that when AI takes over, you'll be able to be identified as human and you get a universal basic income based off of a scan of your iris. So talk about saying I've got a technology that's like a little bit threatening. But yeah, so he's got WorldCoin going on, and then he's coming out with this semiconductor company. And yeah, it looks like there was just a falling out with the board. I think it was smart by Microsoft. They really had no other option but to snap both of them up and bring them on. So I don't know what this ends up looking like for Microsoft's like future with OpenAI or what what's happening, but the AI wars are in full swing, and it looks like there is some fighting in house, a house divided, cannot stand. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I don't think Microsoft is going to let this investment go to waste, especially since it's probably an investment in the most transformative technology again since like the combustion engine. In terms of consumer news, a Musk problem. Some longtime Tesla shareholders and supporters have criticized Elon Musk over his support of an anti Semitic post on X, which led to companies pausing ads on the platform, including Apple and IBM. Tesla shareholder and future fund co founder Gary Black warned that Musk's comments could alienate part of the customer base and, quote, can hurt the company's valuation over the long term. While activist investor Nia Impact Capital's head Kristen Hull said the inaction of Tesla's board was concerning. The Elon Musk-esque X distraction factor has been noted by Wall Street firms as well, including Wedbush and HSBC. Will the latest Musk drama have any lasting impact? My thought process is probably not. It might on X. I doubt that it has it on Tesla. Tesla is its own thing. They're still positioned as the head in the electric vehicle space. And again, they've made themselves indispensable, which is what you want to do in any sector you're involved in. Make sure that even other people that are competing with you in that sector cannot do so without your blessing, right? Without the infrastructure that you have built. And that's what they're doing with their supercharger network. In terms of automotive news, going driverless, there are more stories from the C-suite as Kyle Vaught resigned as CEO of General Motors Cruise. It comes less than a month after the self-driving company paused all operations of its autonomous vehicles following California's suspension of Cruise's driverless permits in the wake of a hit-and-run incident. Cruise also recalled 950 driverless cars across the U.S. earlier this month, soon after it temporarily halted production of its original AV, which is autonomous vehicle, I'm assuming. Seeking Alpha analyst Michael McGrath still emphasizes Cruise's substantial long-term potential, expecting autonomous ride-hailing services to be a very large market. Yeah, I mean, like Cruise, we've seen like over the course of the past 2 weeks, it's been a rough 2 weeks for them. Like it was the hit and run incident, someone died, and then a lot of heads were rolling, and it looks like the CEO of Cruise, General Motors division Cruise, has also resigned. So they pulled all the vehicles. I feel like they've done everything that they could in terms of like recompense for the incident, for the accident, and they've got to build up trust one by one by one. Again, it takes so long to build up trust, and it only takes one instance to completely shatter it. And that's what sucks with the company is based on, something like autonomous vehicles. It's just like you get one hit and run incident, even after however many successful trips they've had beforehand, no one cares, right? Someone got hit, someone died. So now you got to start from ground zero, and heads got to roll. In terms of media news, looking for magic, pressure is also mounting on Disney CEO Bob Iger, who retook the helm exactly a year ago in an overhaul that included job cuts and prioritizing streaming profitability. The stock has largely flatlined since then. I beg to disagree, but investors are hoping Bob Iger's upcoming town hall will discuss future opportunities for the company and give a clearer picture of his plans. Some shareholders aren't too happy with Iger as activist Nelson Peltz, with ex-Marvel head Isaac Perlmutter's support, is threatening a proxy fight Investing group leader Trapping Value rated Disney a hold, with the team saying they would wait some more for Iger to work his magic. Iger is, one of those classic CEOs, just like Schultz at Starbucks, who keeps trying to leave, keeps trying to retire, but he's the best at what he does, and unfortunately, the game just won't let him go. Disney keeps bringing him back, but you guys know how I am with Disney. I like Disney. We're in a lot like large, weekly/monthly falling wedge on Disney. Looks very good. In terms of today's markets, we got a mixed bag here going on in Asia. Japan down 0.6%. And with that, with Disney, right? With Disney looking very good. Disney long call swings. Just like Nvidia broke the weekly downtrend, we had the long call swings. Same thing with Disney on those long call swings. That is like my favorite leap play right now, going into longer term calls, 6 months to a year out on Disney, and those things just absolutely run straight to the bank. That's definitely what we're looking for here, as you've had buyers accumulate over the course of years. Right now is where Disney is based off of the chart, and finally starting to fire here with that candle over the course of last month and this month. So in terms of today's markets, in Asia, Japan down 0.6%, Hong Kong up 1.9%, China up 0.5%, India down 0.2%. The FTSE in London down 0.2%, Paris up 0.2%, Frankfurt down 0.2%, the Dow flat, S&P up 0.1%, NASDAQ up 0.1%, crude oil up 1.6%, gold down 0.5%, Bitcoin up 1.9% to 37K. And then nothing really important on the economic calendar again, so we'll just dive directly into what we got going on here with our rapid fire bullet point rundown. Let me write down a note that just came to mind here. All right. So what else is happening? October's credit card data showed continued deterioration of quality, something that we've been talking about / predicting, 6 months ago. So again, being here will put you ahead of the curve when it comes to not only making trading and investment decisions, but making life decisions. Spot Bitcoin ETFs may add billions to crypto market cap. That says Coinbase. Short seller Jim Chanos, closing hedge funds will shift to advisory work. Checkpoint sees fantastic year ahead despite rivals' dim outlook. SpaceX's Starship progresses further on second test flight. Moody's lifts SoftBank's credit outlook to stable after ARM IPO. M&A GLP-1s to dominate healthcare themes in 2024 as COVID fades. Needham, macro factors limiting near-term growth in dental market. And then Argentina elects chainsaw-wielding outsider Javier Milei as president. Crude oil bounces as more OPEC plus production cuts may be on the table, which we had started talking about last week. But again, we're going into the holidays. We're going into expensive season, right? We've got Thanksgiving this week. We got Christmas. It might be Hanukkah for you. It might be Kwanzaa for you. And we've got New Year's, right? And then we've got Valentine's Day right around there in February. Make sure that you are doing what you need to do to put food on the table and provide as we go into these important holiday seasons. And also doing what you need to do, right, when it comes to using your money in the most effective way possible. Right. So if you look at things and you say, hey, I need to invest in myself to learn this. I need to invest in myself to grow. I need to invest in myself in order to make sure that I'm getting the most out of the new year. Do that. Right. But also when it comes to going into things like the end of the year, I don't like using my own money to pay expenses. I don't like using what I bring in as active revenue in order to pay for things like gifts. Right. I'd rather do what we did last week and, absolutely roast Tesla for all that it's worth 3 days in a row, more than doubling our money, right? Tripling our money because we did, 200% profit minimum 3 days in a row. We triple our money 3 days in a row on something. Boom. Everybody's Christmas gifts are provided, right? So don't work harder, work smarter. Do it like all the people on the inside of the white picket fence do. That's what I want to do. I want to be making sure that every minute that I spend, I'm leveraging to the most. And I'm not sitting here saying, man, I got to work 3 doubles in order to, provide gifts this year or something like that. Number one, don't even be focused on gifts, right? At the end of the day, if you love me and it is what it is, you don't need a gift from me. If I say I'm working on myself or I got bills to pay, then that it is what it is, right? But overall, just understand that there's different ways to get things done. There's tons of opportunities where you could really set yourself up for success moving forward. We just talked about Disney, right? And again, more than just buying Disney stock, because again, that's not going to change your life in 6 months, but you buying a few Disney long calls and holding those for 6 months and those turning from a few $100 to a few $1,000 each. Yeah, that can do a lot for you, right? Nvidia, those long call swings from $700 to $12,000. Yeah, right. That's something that is I want to do over and over and over again. So make sure you don't miss out on opportunities like that. If you are currently, you don't know what to do, you don't know what's up, DM me, email me, right? Adam@adamhollandeducates.com. or just Adam Allen Educates on Instagram. Hit me up. Sitting there isn't ever going to solve the problem. Action will. So I encourage everybody, right, in the spirit of holiday cheer, do a favor for yourself, bring a smile to yourself and others, and do what you need to do to make sure your money's the hardest working person that you know. So other than that, guys, I'm excited for this holiday week, right? Again, low volume. So we're going to be skeptical giving things the side eye, but if we see any opportunities, we'll make sure to take advantage of them. Remain patient, remain willing to execute. Let's have a great week. I'll see all you guys back here tomorrow for our next Premarket Prep session. Have a good one.